Bag. This is Accounting as a Joke, where accounting makes sense so you can make dollars. Today we're going to take a look at a great illustration of how to properly journalize, post, and create a trial balance. So without any further ado, let's get it. So it tells us that Vince York practices medicine under some type of business, yada, yada, yada. And we have a list of some transactions for the month of July. And we also have a list of accounts. All right. And so it tells us to journalize each transaction, bada bing, bada boom. So let's get to it. July 1st, York contributed $63,000 cash to the business in exchange for common stock. So we're going to utilize the AWE CLR System. And if you don't know about the AWE CLR System, I'll drop a link to a video that'll help you properly journalize these accounts correctly. So keywords, always identifying cash, common stock. So cash came into the business, cash is an asset, it's going up. Common stock is a part of stockholders' equity, and it is going up as well. Therefore, we are going to debit cash and credit common stock for the $63,000. We're going to check the answer. Bags all day. Next, paid monthly rent on medical equipment 510. Keywords paid and rent. So anytime that we pay, cash is going down. Cash is an asset, part of the all gain. And to decrease cash, we are going to credit it. Rent is an expense to the company. It is increasing for this particular month. It is also part of the all gain. And we increase anything in the all gain with a debit. Therefore, we are going to debit rent expense. And we are going to credit cash gain for the 510. Check our answer. Nice work, gang. Next, paid $23,000 cash to purchase land to be used in operations. Keywords, paid and land. Cash as well too. So cash is a part of the all gain. It's going down because we used it. Keyword paid. And land is a part of the all gain too. It's going up. Keyword, we purchased land. Therefore, since lands and cash are both assets, we're going to debit land for increasing it and credit cash. Check our answers. Nice work, gang. Moving on. Purchase office supplies on the account 1600. Keywords, office supplies on the account. Office supplies is an asset, part of the all gain. It is going up in the business, therefore we're going to increase it with a debit. Account is the key word. Since we purchased this asset on the account, we know that we've created a liability called account payable. Our liabilities also increase, however, they're a part of the clear gain. And we know anytime we're increasing any account in the clear gain, it's gonna go up with a credit. Therefore, we're gonna debit supplies and we're gonna credit accounts payable for the 1600. We are going to check our answer. Nice work, gang. Borrowed $22,000 from a bank for business use. Keywords, borrowed $22,000. All other stuff, we could toss it. So, because we borrowed $22,000, we basically increased our cash, which is a part of the all gain. It's an asset. But we also increased our liabilities. Now, I can only assume, gang, that this liability that we increased would be a note payable. Why? Because account payables are short-term liabilities, most of the time created whenever we are purchasing an asset. Since we're borrowing long-term debt, because we're not expected to pay this loan back within a year, we're going to consider this to be a note payable. Note payable meaning that it's long-term and it will include some type of interest. So, note payable, last name payable, making it a liability, which means that it's a part of the clear gain. It is going up. So therefore, we have to credit note payable while at the same time increasing our asset, which is a part of the all gain, with a debit. So we're going to debit cash, credit note payable for the $22,000. Check our answer. Excellent, gang. Next, we paid $1,100 on account. Keywords, paid account. So we paid on the account. What happened here, gang? Always when we see paid and the company is paid, cash is going down. Since it's an asset and a part of the all gain, we're going to credit cash. Most of the time, if the company is paying, you always credit cash. However, we paid on the account. What type of account, gang? Account payable. Last name payable makes it a liability, which makes it a part of the clear gain. And what's happening to this liability in any circumstance in real life, gang? When you pay on your liability, it does what? Goes down. So how do we increase any account in the clear gain? With a debit. Therefore, we're going to debit account payable, and we're going to credit cash for the $1,100. Check our answer. Next, the business received a bill for advertising on a daily newspaper to be paid in August, $240. So here's a tricky one, gang. What's going on in here? What are the key words? Received a bill for advertising. Advertising is a key word, and it's expected to be paid in August, but it is now July 28th. Therefore, we haven't paid it yet. We're going to pay it next month. Now, what accounts are affected from here? Advertising is an expense. And since we received this bill, our expenses are now going up. Since expenses are part of the all gain and it's going up, we have to debit this expense, gang. Advertising expense. Now, it's expected to be paid next month. So what does that mean? We still owe. And since we still owe, we have to create a liability. So our liabilities are going to go up. Now, which liability is going to go up? Let's look at the choices that we have, gang. So what are we going to do? We're going to debit advertising expense, and we're going to credit a payable. Let's see what payable we have. We have advertising payable. There you go. We're going to credit it because it's increasing for the 240. Check out answers. Money all day. Moving on. Next, revenues earned during the period included $6,400 cash and $6,000 on the account. This is a compound entry, easy breezy game. It basically means that we're going to record various amounts of accounts to one particular entry. So what are the key words? Revenues earned, cash, and on the account. So what's going on, gang? Cash is going up. Account receivable is going up. Both of those are assets being in the all game. So we're going to debit both of those accounts individually and credit our revenues. Why? Because revenues is a part of the clear gain. It is going up as well. And so therefore we have to position it on that side. So the cash was for $6,400. Accounts receivable was for $6,000. Therefore, the compound entry to service revenue would be for the total amount of the two, which would give us $12,400. We're going to check our answer. Fantastic, game. Moving on. We paid employee salaries, office rent, and utilities. Again, this is a compound entry. Easy breezy, game. What are the key words? Salaries, rent, utilities. What does those three things have in common? They are all expenses, and they're all going up. Since those expenses are part of the all gain, we're going to debit individually each one of those expenses. Now, the other key word was paid. We know right now, at this point in time, anytime the description says the company is paid, we always credit cash. Cash is being an asset, therefore, we have to credit it because it's in the all gain. So, our compound credit to cash would be the total amount of all of those, $4,660. We're going to check our answer. Money in the bank, gang. Moving on. The business received $1,120 for medical screening services to be performed next month. A couple of key words in here. This is another tricky one. We received money for services to be performed next month. The key word in here, the most important word in here, services to be performed next month. We know when we see the word services, we know that's what, gang? Revenue. However, this revenue will be performed next month, but we receive the cash now. This is an example of an unearned revenue. And by that meaning that it's technically not a revenue because it haven't been earned yet. So what is it actually happening? We receive cash for a service to be provided in the future. So now we owe this particular service. And since we owe this particular service, we understand that unearned revenues aren't revenues, gang. They're liabilities. So because of that fact, our liabilities have increased by the amount of services that is expected to be performed next month. So what are we going to do in this situation? We're going to increase cash, meaning we're going to debit cash because we just received it for the amount of $11.20, but we're also going to increase a particular liability by credit because it's in the clear game called unearned revenue. And so that's going to be for the same amount. So we're going to check that answer. Money all day, gang. Paid cash dividends of $7,200. Easy breezy. Paid dividends. Now, dividends is also known as a withdrawal from income to the owners being shareholders when we're talking about corporations. And we know all withdrawals are in the all gain. So now we have more dividends for the period. So we have to record this by debit. So we're going to debit dividends for the $7,200. And we are going to credit cash. Why gain? Keyword paid for the $7,200 as well. Check our answer. Money all day. So now we move it on to the second requirement for this particular problem, which entails us posting those particular transactions that was recorded into the journal into the ledger. Ledger meaning we're dealing with our T accounts now, gang. And so for each individual transaction, we have to post the proper amounts based on our previous correct journal entry. So in July, remember we contributed $63,000 cash for exchange of common stock. Therefore, we're going to debit cash for $63,000 and we're going to credit common stock for the $63,000. Want to check our answer? Next, we paid monthly rent for $510. Remember, gang, we had debited rent expense for $510 and we credited cash. Moving on, we then paid $23,000 cash to buy land. So we're going to debit our land for the $23,000 and we are going to credit cash for the $23,000. Check our answer. Money all day. Next, we purchased office supplies on account $1,600. So remember, we debited office supplies for $1,600 and credited accounts payable for $1,600. Check our answer. Excellent, gang. Then we borrowed $22,000 from the bank. So we debited cash for $22,000 and we credited notes payable for the $22,000. Check our answer. Excellent. Next, we paid $1,100 on account. Keywords paid, so we're going to credit that cash for $1,100. And we are going to debit accounts payable for $1,100 as well. Check the answer. Money all day. Next, the business received the advertising bill that we paid the following month. Remember, we debited advertising expense, and that was for the $240. And we credited advertising payable for the $240. Next, we earned some revenues during the month, and we received cash, and we had to set up our accounts receivable. So we debited accounts receivable for $6,000. We also debited cash for $6,400. And we credited service revenue for the $12,400. We then paid 3 expenses: salaries, rent, and utilities. And so we have to increase those expenses each. So our salaries expense was for $2,200. Our rent expense was for $1,900. Our utilities expense was for $560. And we did account power credit to cash for $4,660. Check our answers. Fantastic, gang. Then we created an unearned revenue for some services to be performed the following month. So we debited cash for the $1,120 and we credited unearned revenue for the same amount as well. Check our answer. And lastly, gang, we paid some cash dividends of $7,200. So our cash went down with a credit for $7,200 and our dividends went up with a debit for $7,200. So now again, we finally have to calculate our ending balances. So how do we do that? Easy. We add up our debit side to calculate the total amount of debits that we've had. We add up our credit side to calculate the total amount of credits that we have. We now have 2 total sum balances. We're going to subtract those, and whichever one had the highest amount, will retain the position of the difference. So for example, if we look at our accounts payable, our total amount for our accounts payable on the debit side is $1,100. However, our total amount of our accounts payable for the credit side is $16. If we subtract the two, that leaves us with a $500 difference. Therefore, that $500 difference will go on the credit. And so we're going to do that for the remaining account balances. Check the answers. Well done, gang. Last but not least, gang, we're going to take those ending balances from our ledger and create the trial balance. Now remember, the trial balance is not a financial statement. It is just a device to assure that our debits and credits are equal in order that we can proceed. It's not 100% foolproof, meaning that you can still screw up and have a correct trial balance. However, it's a start to let us know that we are kind of on the right track. So how do we create a trial balance? We just transpose all of our particular accounts with the debit normal balances in the proper order, and we do the same for the credit normal balances, and they should actually equal. So what order do we list these accounts? The accounting equation. Our assets first, our liabilities second, followed by our stockholders' equity accounts and the accounts that affects retained earnings. Voila, a beautiful illustration of a trial balance. And so we're going to check this answer. Bags all day. So there you have it, gang. A quick and easy illustration of how to properly journalize into the journal, post the transactions to the ledger, and create the trial balance. Hopefully that light bulb clicked as you watch this video, and it's always my humble pleasure to have you spend your time with me while you chase the bags with this accounting. As always, gang, see you soon. Bags!